Welcome back everyone to Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted 2 in flat mode. This is video number 3 in a series that will help guide you to finding secrets and trophies. Please like and subscribe if you do enjoy the content. We're picking up right where we left off from our last video, and we are going to start in the Fazcade file with Fazerblast. Our first Fazerblast level is obviously going to be our easiest one. There are several Fazerblast levels throughout the game, and we're actually going to get started on finding a secret memory. There are several things that you must do in order to get the memory. Eventually, we are going to be knocking down a bale of hay. I'm going to shoot it, see it above the sign right there. Eventually that will get knocked down and set on fire, but there are several things you must do first. For right now, we're just going to play normally, using our laser gun to hit the targets on the screen, and in just a couple of minutes, the screen will change. The different colors of stars are worth a different amount of points, white and green being the lowest, blue and purple being much higher, and then pink being the highest. Now we're actually hitting asteroids instead of stars. You can see them break up whenever you hit them. And as you can see, there are aliens to hit now with very small targets on them. The harder that they are, the higher points that they have. Usually the smaller the target is. Right around here is our rocket. You want to hit the rocket and make it fall. This is the first step that we have to take in order to get the hay bale to fall and eventually get the secret memory. Again, this is our easiest Fazerblast. We got a decent amount of points, and we're going to be headed over to our gotcha machine to collect a prize. And we have a Fazerblaster, which we can actually play with inside of the Pizzaplex. Not that it really does anything. I'll show you here. You can't pop any balloons or anything like that with it, but you know, it is a fun little prize. Let's get into our next minigame, Fazerblast Western, inside the same file as the previous one. Here we're also going to be picking up balls that we can throw at targets, as well as using the Fazerblast gun. There are a few trophies associated with this. If you hit 20 targets with the balls, you can get the bullseye trophy. This should naturally happen during your playthrough. You'll just continue to switch between your weapons, changing between hitting the targets with the laser and hitting the round targets with the ball. The colors apply here as well. So targets that are blue are going to be worth less than targets that are purple.
starving.
And now we have the train sequence. Hitting the small laser targets on the train will open up the windows behind it to where you can actually hit targets that are behind the train. I'm mainly focused on this rather than hitting the round targets with balls at this point because I know that there is a rocket coming. Here I slowed it down so that you can see exactly what to do. You see the rocket flying through. You can see it's behind the train. You want to try to hit the target on that rocket. And you see here, I actually hit it and it is spinning out and the target on the inside is dark. And here you can also watch the rocket fly around. It's going to crash. And it's going to knock down that hay bale. So the hay bale is there in future mini games involving Fazerblast, and we'll have to get it to set on fire. Here we have a new enemy, the plush baby. There is a trophy associated with hitting the plush babies. You must hit 20 of the plush babies in order to receive the trophy. They had it coming. You can hit them with the balls or you can shoot them with the laser gun. Either one works. Be sure to check, see they pop up on the floor. You'll hear them giggle. When you hear them giggle, they're somewhere nearby. Later on you'll see them on top of the stage. You'll see them hiding behind the barrels in the front of the stage. Just they can pretty much be anywhere, but pay attention to what side you hear the giggle come from because that's what side they are on. And while you're, trying not to get jump scared by plush babies, you still have targets to hit up on the stage.
Another winner. Go get your prize.
And our next gotcha prize, we got Trash in the Gang, which I'll walk you over to where they're located in the Pizzaplex. Next up, inside the Fazcade file, we're going to go with Bonk-A-Bon. This one has several trophies that you can earn right now in the very first Bonk-A-Bon game. I'm actually going to do it in this one where I use only one mallet. Using only one mallet will grant you the trophy Seeing Red. So if I used the right mallet, if you only use your right mallet to hit the little guys that pop up, then you'll get that trophy. There's also another one. It will be a game over if you do this, but there's a trophy associated with only hitting Helpy. When you hit Helpy, it actually will deduct 5 points from your score. So naturally you wouldn't want to hit him. But if you only hit him and don't hit any of the other plushies that pop up, you'll get a game over, but you'll also get a trophy called Snap. And as you can see along the sides, there are lights that are flashing. If you burst those lights, just hit them with your mallet and burst 8 of the lights. You will also get a trophy called Lights Out. This minigame has 3 rounds. Each round is a little harder than the last. You'll have more and more sections that light up and allow puppets to pop through. You get different amount of points per animatronic that you hit. But once Plush Baby arrives, you want to focus on hitting Plush Baby. She takes 3 hits to make her go away. And if you don't make her go away, she will jump scare you. As you can see now, every available hole where an animatronic can pop through, they're all lit up. So this is obviously the hardest round. The further in you go, the harder the rounds get. Plush babies have white colored eyes, so they're pretty easy to see. Make sure you hit those before the others so that they don't jump scare you. Our next prize is a poster, which I don't think I actually found it in the Pizzaplex, but on the wall you'll see these blank places up at the top on the wall. That's where the posters typically go. I'm not sure what happened to that one. I can't seem to find it, but you'll see later there are plenty of others that are going to pop up. Our next level in the Fazcade is going to be DJ Music Man. This one is, again, the easiest because it is the first one. It's mostly listening and repeating. So the DJ will come out and he will play music, and then on your screen you want to look at the console. There's a screen right at the top. Whatever melody he plays will be a certain image on that screen, and then you have to use the buttons to repeat that image. If you listen better by sound, you can do it that way, but it may take a little bit longer. This first DJ Music Time round, it's only 3 rounds, and it's just you repeating back what music he plays. So it's not too difficult right now. You basically just look at the image and remember it, and then repeat it. On the screen, there are different buttons to represent each area on the screen. So you just have to find the ones that he's already shown you, and then you repeat them and push submit, and he'll tell you if you're correct or not. My own personal way of remembering is like green, hills, moon, robot. So I know the bottom is green. I know in the background there are hills, and then the robot's in the middle, and then you'll find the moon on the slider bar. That's just my own personal way of remembering. I'll repeat that over and over so that I can remember it. Also, just for your reference, to the left where it says round 3 of 3, there is a red button. If you need a replay, you can have a replay. I think you have a maximum of 3. So if you can't remember what was on the screen, or you can't remember the tune, you can hit that replay button and the Music Man will replay the sound bit for you, and it will also pop up on your screen.
then determined that you have sufficient musical talent. You may proceed to lesson 2 on your next visit. Additional charges may apply.
And of course, we get a prize for completing the minigame. It is the DJ Music Man. And he's so large that he has to be put behind the curtain. Next up in the Fazcade, we're going to do DJ Music Time Advanced. This one will add in a camera and you will have small mini music men that will pop up along the sides of the stage and come towards you banging cymbals. Sometimes they can also jump on the top of your console, and if that happens, they'll hop down onto your console and stomp around and push buttons and mess up everything that you've done. So if you see them on top of your console, you want to flash the camera right away to make them go away. And again, whichever side you hear cymbals, that's the side that the Music Man is on. So you just want to turn and snap that camera to make them go away. Just to make it a little clear, when you're playing this game in flat mode, sometimes it is a little bit difficult to manipulate smaller buttons. So if you see me struggling a little bit with the dials that actually turn, it's just because of the way you use the controller. I'm not sure if the VR is a little easier to manipulate, but the controller, I will say it is somewhat difficult to make those very fine, small movements. See, I've kind of struggled a little bit right there with the tuning knob. That's the only reason why. You'll understand if you're playing along that sometimes it can be a little bit frustrating. Just a second ago, you could see one of the mini music men was on top of my console and I tried to submit what I put in. They will prevent you from doing that. If they're standing up there, you can't do anything. You have to flash them and make them go away before you can submit what you have inputted on your console. As you can tell, my camera is covering the replay button and how many rounds we've had, or you can see it now. There are 5 rounds in this one, so that's why it's taking quite a bit longer. So just keep that in mind. The first mini game of DJ Music Time is 3 rounds, and the second one is 5 rounds and has quite a few more obstacles in the way of completing the task. we get our gotcha prize, which will be a mini Music Man. As you can see, we have a present on stage. So we are getting a new Fast Force toy. Looks like Foxy. Just put him right there over on the pedestal. In the Fazcade file, our next game will be Bonk-A-Bon. This is pretty much just like bowling. You'll have a ball and you'll have pins, and you'll have to try to knock down all of those pins. However, there will be obstacles that present themselves periodically. Usually every other round, you'll have some sort of obstacle that is trying to prevent you from reaching the pins. Also later on, you'll see I'll bowl 3 strikes in a row. This is related to a trophy that's called Gobble Gobble. It's relatively easy to get. Just try to line yourself up where your bowling ball will go right down the middle line. There are small arrows you can see on the bowling lane. Try to line yourself up with that middle arrow and just bowl them straight on. Our first obstacle you just saw are some alligators. They're gonna reach across the lane and chomp. So as soon as they push out, when they close their jaw, is around the time that you want to actually throw your bowling ball. Then you should avoid hitting any of them. They shouldn't hit your ball at all if you toss it as soon as they come out over the lane and chomp down, and then you toss your ball and they pull themselves back. You see I have a flashlight in my left hand. That is for Moon. When he appears, you will need the flashlight to make him go back into hiding. You can pick that up. On the table to our left, you'll see that flashlight. I don't know if you caught me pick it up on this table here where it says frame 4. There's a flashlight right there. Just be sure to pick it up to send Moon away. He will most often appear directly above us in the hole in the ceiling. But there was one time where I did have him appear in a vent and he did jump scare me. I wasn't able to locate him. So just be aware that he can show up in more than one place. Our next obstacle is the Bonnie Chomp. He will slowly come forward along the bowling lane, and we have to time our toss of the bowling ball so that when he chomps down, our bowling ball goes through his open mouth and does not hit him to where he knocks the ball away. The photo that just appeared on the screen above us showed Plush Baby. Plush Baby will be the next obstacle. You just toss your ball along the bowling lane and aim for Plush Baby and knock her over. With that, we also would have gotten our Gobble Gobble trophy. You can see on the scoreboard above us that we have 3 strikes in a row. So that gives us the Gobble Gobble trophy where we bowled the turkey. So this is our last round. We have 2 obstacles. We had Moon above us and we had a Plush Baby. It's always a good indicator that Plush Baby will be the obstacle when you get more than 1 bowling ball that appears to our right where we collect them. Yeah, there's several there, so they give us a bunch in case we miss Plush Baby. We can just reach over and grab another one to knock her over along the bowling lane. So now we just have to finish up and we can go and collect our prize. Back at the gotcha machine, our prize is a Glam Bonnie. For our next mini game, we're going to the ticket booth file and we're going to play Carousel. This is a relatively easy minigame. It does get a little bit harder in the later versions of Carousel, but for now, it's not so bad. We must avoid Moon. He will be lurking around and trying to jump scare us. Start out with broken fuses, find the ones that are busted, and on the table to our left, we have all new pieces of equipment. Sometimes when you're replacing these fuses, they will burst and you'll have to pull it out and get a fresh one again. And we have our flashlight that we've retrieved from the table on the left that will help us to shoo Moon away. Just point the flashlight at him and he'll cover his eyes and yell and run away. Now we must turn the dials to where they point directly to the blue line. If there is a broken dial, just grab it and toss it away. There's Moon. And turn the dial to the line. You'll see we have some current going through now. And there's no dial at all. So grab one, add it, and turn it. If you look to our lower right, there is a pumpkin. There is a trophy associated with that pumpkin. Moon will often appear right above us when we're facing the console where we're working and appear up to the left or up to the right. When he gets that close, you can grab the pumpkin and throw it in his face, and that will earn you the Harvest Moon trophy. For the final part, we have to solder some wires to this piece of equipment. Where you see the yellow boxes on that small square, you'll put the yellow wires in the yellow boxes and the blue wires in the blue boxes, and then take the soldering gun and push the button, and now we just have a timer. We have to keep Moon away until the timer runs out. Our prize is the Faz wrench, and we will be earning a trophy associated with obtaining the Faz wrench.
You are ready. Use the key to confront the darkness. The key is familiar to you.
Right here, the Mystic Hippo speaking to us is also a trophy. It is called Your Time to Shine. Hippo is basically telling us to grab the Faz wrench. Now we have the key, so we can go and unlock that door that we saw all the way at the beginning. If you've played Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, this will be extremely familiar to you. It is exactly the same as in that game. Now that we have this door open, you'll see Princess Quest 4. Again, it should be very familiar if you've played Security Breach. We are going to interact with that power source. And you see the sign that says take your mask off, and you'll get a prompt. And that will be your trophy called Open Your Eyes. Once you take your mask off, you are seeing reality for what it really is inside of this FNAF world. I assume that most people watching this video have played Security Breach, and for those of you who have, seeing all of these very familiar things, I know for me it brings a sense of dread in the pit of my stomach. I think it probably will for you guys as well. Several things have changed from when we were wearing the mask.
Get your candy here. Candy.
Here we have the Candy Cadet, who was featured in Pizzeria Simulator. There is a coin on that box. Do not grab it. Those coins we have actually already collected and will use later. With that, we've reached the end of the video. Please like and subscribe. And never forget, Khajiit always has wares.